Good morning, gorgeous. How are you ladies doing this morning? I hope you're all doing wonderful. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I'm Dr. Michelle Daff, and you're here for a feminine impression. Today, we are going to talk about the art of touch and affection as a feminine woman. Affection is something that so many of us can sometimes cringe when we just think about because it requires so much vulnerability, but it's one of the most important aspects of being a feminine woman. So I want you to go ahead and sit back, relax, get something to drink, get something to write with, and let's talk about this. When we talk about femininity, we talk about being a woman and all that encompasses womanhood. In the past, we talked about femininity and the way to sort of look feminine in terms of how you dress, the clothes you wear, and how you present yourself. But touch is one of the most feminine behaviors that you can do as a woman that will help you and the people around you. This can be beneficial in all areas of life, from your personal relationships to even business relationships. As humans, we all have a desire to be touched. And that's why you hear a lot about babies and how important it is for babies to be held and to be touched. And when you look at the research in orphanages and other countries, there have been so much data about infants who actually died because they were not being held. They weren't getting any human touch. That's how important touch is. So I want to talk a little bit about how you can incorporate touch into your relationships. Because as a feminine woman, this is one of the areas that stops us from getting into a deeper level in our love lives. Whether you're married, whether you're dating someone, or whether you just need to maybe have more affection in your home with your family members or with your children, being comfortable having touch in your life will open up your relationships. Now, if you are married, I'm assuming that you do love your husband and that you do desire to have intimacy with your husband. But so many of us, especially those of us ladies who are married, have maybe had things go on in our lives that have stopped us from feeling that connection. And I get a lot of questions about how can I spice up or revive my marriage or my relationship? And the answer is touch. Touch disarms people. And if you're having any sort of strife or any tension in your relationships, incorporating touch can heal it. Now, we're in this COVID era where touch has been sort of like an off-putting statement. People don't want to be touched. They don't even want you to breathe in their face. And there's this term that sort of came up called touch starvation, where humans have been starved of the feeling of touch. And that's caused things like depression and anxiety and all these sort of psychosomatic things that have come up within people because they have been starved of human touch. That's how serious touch can be. And as a feminine woman, when you walk into a room, when you walk into your home, when you're present in an environment, you want to exude warmth and love and openness and softness and kindness. And touching is how you can do that. When you touch someone, it sends a signal to their brain. It helps to boost their serotonin, and it also releases oxytocin. These are hormones that create that feeling of like this joyful, happy, euphoric high. It's the feeling that you get when you hold a baby. It's the feeling that you get after you have sex. It's this like natural high that you get. And touch can give that same response to your brain. According to research, when you touch, it can even help heal any autoimmune diseases or deficiencies within a person. It can help with depression. It can help with anxiety. It can help just to show your presence in a very intimate way. So let's talk about some ways that you can incorporate touch into your life as a feminine woman. First, it's important for you to sort of take in your environment whenever you can so that you have that love and that affection to release. Because so many of us have these lives where we're so busy, right? We're working jobs, we're working in our homes, we're thinking about all these different things, we're running from appointment to appointment and canceling things off of our to-do list. And a lot of times we don't take time to breathe and to take in our environment, that would be the first thing for you to do. Spending time in your day doing things that are relaxing, sort of gearing up that energy to release into someone else. You can do this by taking warm showers or taking baths with soft soap and things that smell really nice and aromas that just fill up your home. You can do this by watering plants, spending time in nature and looking at flowers and taking photos. You can also do this by lighting candles in your home or just taking time and listening to music and moving your body and just getting inside of yourself, okay? Just really taking from within. This is going to give you that powerhouse inside of you as a feminine woman to release. It's impossible for you to pour from an empty cup, and your cup does become empty when you are in your masculine most of the day. There should be time during your day where you are in relaxed mode, where you are in a taking in mode. And this will give you the ability to be able to be at peace and to be joyful and to be calm when you do interact with your husband or with your children or with people that you care about. So some ways that you can incorporate touch into your daily life are things like hugs. And I know it may sound like, okay, duh, of course you can hug someone. But there are a lot of us women who are not comfortable with even hugging a person. Okay, you may see someone and you might even think you want to hug them, but you choose not to because maybe you're afraid of invading their personal space or you're afraid of what they may think of you when you do it. But hugging someone, giving them an embrace, just disarms a person. Anyone could be having a tough day or could be feeling low. And you giving them that touch, that hug, that feminine essence can just relieve that from them and help them to feel accepted and loved and wanted. So hugging your husband, hugging your boyfriend, hugging your children. There are so many women who tell me that their mothers didn't even hug them, that they felt this sort of like tense, stale energy in their homes growing up. And that stopped them from being feminine as a young girl. They didn't get enough of that affection. So if you are a mother, then I would encourage you to spend some more time hugging your children. And if you have teenagers, they may act like they don't want to be hugged and they don't like it, but I assure you, they do. And they do appreciate it. And it does give them that charge that they need during the day to feel like they're wanted and loved in the home. When your husband comes home from work, okay, inviting him in with a hug, a nice warm hug, and truly being present in that hug. I know I've gotten accused so many times by my husband or by family members that I give side hugs or my hugs are not like intimate enough, right? And a lot of times it's because I'm thinking about something else. I'm doing it very mechanically. So my hugs are just like a quick little shoulder hug and I'm off to do something else. So it takes intention to really give an embrace that's warm and hold on to that person and just kind of give out some of that feminine energy into that person. And it will help them release, especially when your husband comes home and he's had a long day at work and he's been around all this masculine energy and it's just been a lot. Him coming into a place of peace and of solace and coming home to a beautiful feminine woman who's going to want to hug him and not pull away, but hug him as long as he wants to be hugged. It's going to mean a lot to him. And that's another thing. When you do embrace, it's also important not to pull away so fast. Again, this may sound like so elementary or something that I shouldn't even have to say, but when you hug someone, think about it. Are you the first person to pull quickly away from that hug? Or will you allow yourself to hug someone as long as they want you to hug them? Okay, this is a really big part of femininity, is allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to withstand anything that you may think could be awkward. You might think, okay, it's been a little bit too long. I don't want them to be uncomfortable. But if it's your husband, if it's someone you love, they're going to appreciate the fact that you're not rushing away, that you are in the moment with them, that you are giving that feminine intimacy with them. Okay, so try this, practice, hug, and don't pull away quickly and give out what you've taken in throughout the day and spread it amongst those that you love. Now, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Ladies, it's so important that you spend time becoming the person that you want to be and you get assistance doing that. Therapy is a wonderful tool for being able to unpack your past or to help you with your future goals. As a psychologist, I believe everyone should have therapy at some point in their life to better themselves. And BetterHelp can help. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that has therapists that you can talk to over the phone or in a live session. The great thing is you don't have to show your face. You can turn your camera off. It's affordable and you can get matched with a therapist in 48 hours. As a listener, you can receive 10% off of your service by using the code FEMININE. So visit BetterHelp today at BetterHelp.com/feminine. Another way that you can incorporate touch into your life as a feminine woman is by holding hands. This is something that teenagers love to do because they're able to sort of have a little bit of intimacy without being over the top. But try holding hands with your partner the next time you go out. If you're walking through the mall, through a park, if you're going to a concert, if you're going to dinner, even if it's just from the car into the restaurant. Touch, hold hands. Now, this may be very awkward if you're not used to touching. And unfortunately, so many couples only touch when it's something sexual, right? When it's just time to have sex. And it's like, okay, all the touching is on. But throughout every other moment, there is no touching going on. And that's really what builds up the intimacy, is those spontaneous moments of touch throughout the day. So try holding hands and see that charge that happens within you and within him. And this doesn't have to be something that's done in a silly, childish way, but it's something that does say something. Okay, when you're confident enough to hold hands and to be intimate, even when you're walking down the street, it's not necessarily a public display of affection like a kiss is. It's just a way of saying that we're connected and that we're close. And it does a lot for him and for you, more than you probably think it does. So try holding hands. You can even do this with your children, okay? It doesn't have to be your husband. It could be your teenage daughter. You can be out and you can hold her hand. And believe it or not, the dopamine and the serotonin, the things that they feel in their brain really will release a sense of peace and calm and healing. And you can do that by something as simple as holding hands. If you're meeting someone for the first time, sure, maybe you don't want to do a lot of touching. But if it's someone that, you are comfortable with and you're friends with and you're open in your body and you feel comfortable with, then touching people is a way of getting them to even open up. I know when I've done a lot of research on different people and their success stories, Oprah Winfrey, who's a very popular and successful TV host, incorporates touch as her sort of like secret weapon to getting people to open up. So as she's on the couch and she's interviewing, she'll touch their hand, touch their shoulder, she'll give an embrace, she'll touch her audience. And they're very small moments of touch, nothing too over the top. But those small moments of touch allows a person to feel very comfortable and to share more with her than they would with other interviewers. So it doesn't always have to be even people you love. It could just be in an environment that's very comfortable when you want to maybe get something from the person in terms of maybe opening up a little bit more or just feeling more comfortable around you. Another really great way to use touch as a feminine woman is during arguments. I receive a lot of questions about how you can sort of end arguments with your partner or how you can resolve arguments in a feminine way. And you can do that by touch. And I'm not talking about a violent touch. I'm talking about a very soft feminine touch. If you are having a disagreement with your husband or your boyfriend, it's really nice if you can sort of sit next to them instead of sitting in front of them and put your hand on their knee or put your hand on his shoulder and talk to him about whatever the problem is. Being side by side sort of gives off that feminine approach that you're not against him, you're not fighting with him, you're on the same side as him, and you're in union with him. And that touch, that very gentle touch, just disarms him and lets him know that you're approaching this in a very gentle way, in a very vulnerable way. You're not trying to fight. You're trying to listen and you're trying to resolve. And that makes a very big difference in the communication and in how that situation ends up playing out. So next time you're in a situation like that, try it. Try sitting next to him and gently touching him. Now, if you're very angry or if you're, impulsive and you just can't get yourself to relax enough to do that, then you're going to have to take time before and calm down and get your emotions out, whether it's writing it down or talking to a friend or sending yourself a voice note and releasing all of that like toxic aggressive energy and bringing just yourself with the facts to the conversation. And that will help gently open up the issues and resolve it. You can also use touch as a feminine woman by doing things like leaning in for kisses. Okay, you can lean in and sort of allow your husband or your boyfriend to smell you, to just sort of be in your proximity and take in like those pheromones that we have naturally as women, those sort of animalistic scents that we carry that draws our partner in. Okay, these things are very powerful as women, and a lot of times we underestimate our appeal and the things that are just very normal. Instead of having to look a certain way and act a certain way, just leaning in during a conversation and just touching his arm gently or touching his shoulder as you walk past him in the kitchen. You don't have to talk. You don't have to have a whole conversation. He could be making a sandwich and you can just walk by him and touch his shoulder. And I guarantee you that is going to get his attention in a very sort of feminine and gentle way. Okay, so it doesn't have to always be anything major where you're having a conversation or you're being sexual. It can just be a very light, gentle, natural touch. Now, if you have any issues or strife in your home, in your marriage, or with your children, this is going to be difficult. Okay, it's going to be alarming. Maybe when you touch them for the first time, they're going to think, what is going on with her? Because this, again, takes vulnerability. It takes you not caring about whether or not they think it's strange that all of a sudden you're doing this. It takes you sort of opening a new door. And with anything new, it's all about just doing it over and over and over again until it becomes the new normal for you. Okay, so don't be surprised if it's taken in a very strange way because you never do this. They will like it, but they may take a while to believe that this is who you are now. And this is sort of what you really genuinely want from them now. You want more interaction. You want more peace. You want to heal with your presence. You can do this through touch. Now, I know you might be in a situation where this conversation is so sad to you because you and your husband are not even in a place where you can touch anymore. Maybe you don't even talk, let alone touch. And I just want to encourage you and remind you that that's why it's so important for you to have a spiritual life where you are praying to God and you are asking Him for healing in your home. Because at the end of the day, everything is spiritual in this world. And there are different things that impact our marriage because the enemy hates marriage, right? Doesn't want you to have a home that's full of love and peace and warmth. So that's why it's so important for you as a feminine woman to pray and to ask the Lord to touch your life and to heal your marriage and to help your husband to be more open to you and help you to be more vulnerable to him, to bring forgiveness into the home and bring true and pure love into the home. And you can do this through prayer and just asking the love of Jesus to penetrate through your household and asking God to give you the right timing, the right words, the right situations to bring your femininity into your home. So I hope that this video was helpful to you, my dear, in showing you a new way to exude femininity in your life through the power of touch. Do not underestimate how important and how necessary skin-to-skin contact is for those around you. It will open up your life once you see the power of your touch. Be sure to follow me on my Instagram at A Feminine Impression and my personal page at Dr. Michelle Daff, and listen to my podcast, A Feminine Impression. Until next time, my loves, may the Lord bless you and keep you. And remember that in all things you do, make a feminine impression. Bye-bye.